I've got my headphones in because Wit said it was rubbish for this. I was rubbish with the sound last time.
Yeah, the atmosphere was brilliant, mate. It was bouncing before the game, wasn't it, Sam? We saw Jamie Tolley before the game as well. And we all said, we don't get too envious about being retired and missing football, but that's a game where you think, I wish I could play. You need a sidekick as well. So someone like Busy, I think, would be perfect.
Perfect. Real similar.
We ended up basically losing 5-1, which they now sell a DVD of the game in the West Brom.
I'm going to get it.
Whereas all the fans behind us were like, just smash him.
Smash him, kill someone, smash him, boot him. And you go, just smash him, boot him. And he gets sent off after 10 minutes. And everybody's, what an idiot. He's been sent off. And the manager, you have to find 2 weeks' wages. The manager drops you for the next 6 weeks. And you go, oh, yeah, brilliant that. Probably the only ground where I thought, this is a bit naughty. I'm on this left wing on the far side here. I thought, this could escalate quickly and I could be in serious trouble.
West Ham Millwall is probably the nastiest one that you could encounter.
I did look at biggest derbies and I think it said either River Plate or Fenerbahce. Alan Cork.
Yeah. Sorry, that's 31 seconds, Sam. Unlucky. Good effort.
Is that going to get me on the bench? Surely is that part of the responsibility for me to get the last 5 minutes? Welcome everybody to another episode of In the Sticks with me, Gav and Dave. You might notice we're on StreamYard again. Why are we on StreamYard again? Gav, why are we on StreamYard again? Lots of people don't like it.
Not a clue. I'm in the studio. You two aren't.
You've done your bit then, Gav, yeah?
Hey, if everyone would have done what I'd have done, we'd have won 4-0.
11-0. 11-0,
yeah, sorry, 11-0.
In fairness to Gav, he has got an advantage about getting to the studio, the fact that it's in his back garden, where for me it's a 20-minute drive, and for Dave it's a 40-minute drive.
Listen, irrelevant, set standards. I'm here.
But you were in the studio, but you were still 8 minutes late, even though it's a 1-minute walk from your house to the studio.
Couple of reasons. There on the... Yeah, so that's the main reason. So, did it go? Sorry, did the mic go out? Sorry.
The thing is, for anybody listening, that he hasn't broken up. He just does this every time he gets online, pretends to be frozen.
He's done it 3 times now, Gavlas, but he's really good at it. You should work as one of them mime artists in what's it called, Trafalgar Square or whatever, because you're
it's
really
funny you
good
say
at
that. On the there, and I said the first thing I said to him was,
this is going to sound so bad now.
Yeah, it's going to sound rubbish. Stop doing it. And Wit is
not great listening. It's not great listening. I get it. I'm more of a visual kind of guy. I get it.
Yeah, better for the visuals. I've got my headphones in because Wit said it was rubbish for this. I was rubbish with the sound last time. Just I spoke to a few people at the Shrewsbury Wrexham match. We'll come on to in a minute. A few people said to me that they didn't quite like it as much on StreamYard though, and I agree. I said, but I do like it because I can just sit here with no pants on and it's sound comfortable, more fresh air.
Yeah,
it'd be brilliant if you had a suit and tie on and just literally sat in your pants.
No one watches on YouTube, did it? So I could just get up and walk around now. Wouldn't make any difference, would it? And if that might be an incentive to get more people onto YouTube. Possibly not.
Yeah, maybe not. How was it? Obviously, you both went to the Shrewsbury Wrexham game. How was it?
Let's start. Can I just quickly tell you? Obviously, I arranged to meet lots of people at 1:30, so I got Holly to drive me and my boys to Wrexham. I didn't want to go in the pubs around or anything like that. So I said I'll just meet people in the ground at 1:30. We'll have a beer, we'll have a pie or a sausage roll or whatever. Got there, 1:30, walked in, not serving any beers, which I think is terrible. No food, it's terrible. They had one little stall for however many people, for 700 people. I've had bigger burger vans at the school sports day. Pathetic. So rubbish. That part was rubbish. So I was in the ground at 1:30, and then Hugo went to get me a coffee. Queued up for 40 minutes. Got there because I'd given him £4 and said card only. So not great from a hospitality point of view, I'd say.
I suppose you could argue away the alcohol thing with it being such a big derby or whatever locally, but what's the food thing all about then? What's behind that?
Don't know.
I don't know how they would have served. It was as I walked past, I didn't go back down to where you could get food and drink, but it was tiny, wasn't it, Sam? And obviously there must have been 1,500 Shrewsbury fans, 2,000. I don't know what the number was, but it literally it was just a little hole in the wall, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it wasn't great.
My window's bigger out the back there. Ridiculous. Rubbish. Not impressed.
And obviously the game not gone to plan. Big task, really, isn't it?
Yeah, the atmosphere was brilliant, mate. It was bouncing before the game, wasn't it, Sam? We saw Jamie Tolley before the game as well. And we all said we don't get too envious about being retired and missing football, but that's a game where you think, I wish I could play. Honestly, just the feeling.
Not now. I wouldn't want to play now at my age. Playing 20 years.
Go back a little bit.
I was struggling up the stairs.
But the fans were really, really good, especially first half. Went a goal behind, but then we actually played really well, didn't we, Sam, for 20 minutes? And I was next to Sam and said, we just have to score now. If we don't score now, then they've got so much quality, they'll nick on the counter, and that's exactly what they did. And second half was a bit of a non-event after that, unfortunately. But two key moments in the first half, both created from a Shrewsbury Academy player, Ryan Barnett. Still baffles me how he's not playing at our football club.
Shrewsbury giving them an extra £150 a week, though, didn't it, by letting them go? So.
Oh, mate, honestly, he played really well, but he was if you watch the goals back, Gav, he was instrumental in both of them, wasn't he, Sam? Just one of the players on the pitch who could pick up the ball and just ran right across the pitch from back, took about 3 or 4 players.
Did they play a 3, Wrexham? Did they play a 3?
Yeah, he played
right wing back. So, honestly, if they didn't see him day to day in training, and obviously in some of the what would probably have been reserve games or St John's Paint Trophy, or what is it now? It's the the EFL Trophy. Yeah. So when he came on loan to me, I play wing backs, as they're called, like wingers. And honestly, mate, even if they'd have viewed a couple of them games, he just ripped it up.
Hey, we played wing backs. We played wing backs. We played wing backs. It baffled me.
That's what I mean. That's what baffled me, because it actually, I think, having spoken to him previously, I think, and it'd be good to speak to him about this actually. He actually said to me at the time how much it gave him playing in that position, gave him a bit more clarity what he had to do off the ball. So in possession, it was look, get as high and wide as you can, be aggressive, everything that you'd get in his ear roll about, Sam. But out of possession, actually give him a little bit more clarity. And I always I get what you say, Dave. From your perspective, being his teammate at the time and being on the inside, you'd be like, what are they not seeing? From my perspective, if they'd have done their due diligence, the whole purpose of him coming out on loan, I'd sort of rekindled something with Shrewsbury that both clubs just weren't even in communication. And I'd sort of reached out to say, look, I'm going to need a bit of support, not a lot of budget, not a lot of resources. You get your John McAtees in, you get your Barneys in, and a few other guys. And from my perspective, it's all you would have had to do is come and see 3 of those 20 games that he played, maybe more, and you would have just taken him. Like you say, Sam, give him an extra 150 quid, he's not going anywhere.
It wasn't even that, mate. I think he offered a contract.
And just quickly, it's not. We've done the Ryan Barnett podcast, so haven't we? We've done that.
Yeah,
we've already done that before.
Yeah.
We've done
anyway. That's it.
Ryan Barnett.
I was speaking to a fan. I was speaking to a fan just before the game started, and he was like, there's just no one who is in your situation, Dave, that knows how much this game means to Shrewsbury fans. I was like, there is, but he's playing for bloody Wrexham. And I was like, it's honestly, it's mental. He did how he got released, mate, is just absolutely beyond. I saw him in training every day, and he's an absolute workaholic. Do you know what I mean? And quality as well. And how you can not, he wouldn't have been on a lot of money. But anyway, not past that.
Would have preferred to see him in blue and amber.
But the biggest, you just said about blue and amber there, Gav. This was where I think we lost the game. We turned up and we're in the away kit. What's that all about? A derby match and we're in the away kit.
And there's no need to be. No need to be.
Absolutely no need to be. I don't think I've ever seen Shrewsbury play at Wrexham in an away kit. Baffled me. So yeah, I was raging.
I don't think that was actually the main problem, though.
I think it was.
I do. All right. I think that's the only reason. I think that's
it wasn't the difference in quality. It wasn't the most. It was the fact that they were in the away kit.
It's like when Alex Ferguson's United team wore that grey. It's like a similar sort of khaki colour, wasn't it? The kit. It's just couldn't see each other properly.
Did anyone from Shrewsbury stand out? Is there anyone there that you think, they really made a good account of themselves?
Look, I think loads of them give a good account of themselves. They couldn't have done much more. But it's just a question of quality, isn't it? Shrewsbury, they had a go, didn't they? They thought they did really well, and they had loads of the ball. It's just they haven't got the talent, have they? That Wrexham have got. They haven't got people like Barney who just drives through, beats a couple of players, sets someone up. They haven't got McLean who puts in a couple of great crosses. They haven't got the finishers. I thought, what can you do in the end, isn't it? You can say, I think Pep Guardiola wouldn't have been able to get Shrewsbury to beat Wrexham on Saturday. I just don't think. No. I don't think you can you? Just come down to better players sometimes. You know that, Gav, don't you? We've had this conversation before. Better players sometimes, isn't it? You can set your team up real brilliant. You go man to man of him, but that player just dribbles past you. It's like, oh.
Yeah, so much you can do, so much you can affect. Then players have got to be accountable, haven't they? That's definitely true.
Atmosphere was amazing, though, wasn't it?
Class, really
brilliant. Good. Shrewsbury fans are brilliant. Wrexham fans are brilliant as well. Great atmosphere.
It was great to see. The videos that you were sending over were just unbelievable. Would have loved to have been there.
What did you like the videos?
Yeah,
YouTube again. I've done that before. I'm not good. I could be a YouTuber. Is that like Fogden or whatever does Bolton? I'm like basically Shrewsbury's Fogden.
Yeah, and I think you've got to really buy into that as well and continue that. So you have to be at every game doing every video.
That's what.
You need a sidekick as well. So someone like Busy, I think, would be perfect.
Perfect. Real similar people, perfect to work together.
So we're going to talk about some derbies. And I thought, I did a little bit on Facebook today, and I said, what are some of the biggest derbies in the United Kingdom, in the world? And we've had loads and loads of communication via Facebook. So I've jotted down a few things that people have said. I just thought about our experiences in derbies, and I reflected on myself this afternoon, thinking, which derbies have I played? I haven't really played in that many. What's the one? Have you played Wolves West Brom, Dave?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Biggie, that one.
Yeah, it was one that...
it hasn't gone well. He's going to tell a story. Leave it then, Dave. Leave it.
So we were in different leagues and we kept missing each other for the early years at Wolves, and then we were both in the Premier League. And I remember we played away from home. I was supposed to start, and we were traveling to the hotel the night before, and it was snowing, and the game got called off. So I was raging, my first Black Country derby. And then I missed the replay because I was injured. Just coming back from injury, we won that. Did we win or we drew? But Jamie Harris scored a worldy free kick. You have to look up. Unbelievable. The scenes and the limbs in the away end were just incredible. Then we played them. One I was fit for. We played them at home in our final season in the Premier League, and I was starting. And to put into context, we were in a bit of trouble under Mick McCarthy. Weren't playing well, and we played QPR the week before, and real tight game. They were down there as well. And Djibril Cissé, do you remember him, the striker? He got sent off in the first half, and we went 1-0 down as well.
He's playing for West Brom, was he?
No, sorry, this was the game before against QPR.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So, but this kind of gives a bit of sort of relevance to the story. We're 1-0 down. He gets sent off. We're all over the place. And then Mick McCarthy, second half, just thinks, I'm going to go for this. And he went the most attacking lineup I've ever seen. It's me and Jamie O'Hara in centre midfield are both proper attacking midfielders. He had Matt Jarvis, who's an out-and-out winger, on the left. He had Kevin Doyle, who's a striker, on the right. And he had Sylvain Ebanks-Blake and Stephen Fletcher up front. So, midfielder strikers are all attacking players, not defensive bone in our bodies. We get back in 1-0. We go and win 2-1. Everyone's happy. We're playing West Brom at home the next game. Mick plays the same lineup. And West Brom played 3 in midfield, and we got absolutely...
I remember you saying about this.
So in the first goal, I can't remember what it was, they had a shot from the edge of the box. I've gone to block it. It's kind of hit my backside and deflected in. We managed to get back into it, 1-1 at half-time, or just for half-time, 1-1. But we were like, how on earth is a draw at that point was mental. But then, second half, we ended up basically losing 5-1, which they now sell a DVD of the game in the West Brom.
I'm going to get it.
Oh mate, it was awful.
I'm just online now, just purchasing it now.
You lost 5-1. You scored an own goal in the local derby.
You can imagine, and it's my only experience of Black Country Derby as well. You can imagine Molineux, like towards the end of that game, mate. And we weren't quite in the bottom three. We just outside it, but that ended up being mixed last game. Like absolute knee-jerk reaction from the chairman. Following day, like got sacked.
Did the lads go out and Wolves that night?
Oh mate, but so Mick got sacked straight after, so which was horrendous because after that they didn't really have a plan, didn't get a new manager in, and then ended up giving it to Terry Connor, who was Mick's assistant. He's an unbelievable coach, but that's the only time he's ever managed really. And yeah, we were outside the bottom three at this point, and we ended up finishing bottom by quite a few points as well. So it was a disastrous experience.
Oh, okay then. Move on then, Gav. What about you, Gav? What derbies have you played in?
Yeah, not any of like real high ilk, obviously, because of the nature of my career. But when I was at Canvey, we drew Southend in the FA Cup, and I was just like, because they're close to each other. Like
they hate each other, though, the fans. I'm
the other side of Essex. I'm from North Essex, so they're like on the other side. So I always knew that like Colchester and Southend was a real fierce rivalry. But because Canvey really was just like a tin pot club until Jeff King turned up, then all of a sudden he's like taking them right the way through the leagues. There's like these FA Cup runs, winning FA trophies, and in the National League at conference, and he really put the club on the map. So I didn't realise before I'd got there, they'd started to gather some sort of hatred with each other because Canvey were like doing the whole, we're going to overtake you. And they were like, yeah, don't be so ridiculous. And then the next thing, they're like a league away from each other. And we drew them in the FA Cup. It's funny, I'd literally just been selected for the England C side. I played on the Wednesday, come back on the Saturday and got left out. Got told 40 minutes before we were due to get ready.
I'm an England national.
I try to give it all that. Yeah. He did the whole. You've had a big week and you're going to be shattered and all that. And then the lad that came, I think the lad I was telling you about the other week about how hilarious he is, Ben Chenery, great lad. He came in and he scored after 4 minutes. So it was one of them where I was like celebrating, but going, shit.
Well done, Ben. Brilliant.
Well done, Ben. No, he's a great header. And we drew 1-1 at there. But I remember I couldn't believe the level of hatred. I was so naive to it. But I'd grown up with a real footballing family and going and watching. But that one was like, yeah, like they all are, regardless of the magnitude and the level.
Yeah. Regardless of size, that's what I'm saying. They hate each other, even when they're like, they can be in Southend, hate each other as much as whoever it might be, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce or something like that, isn't it? Yeah. Because that's they feel the hatred for their rivals.
I felt that on Saturday. It's the first time I've been to a Shrewsbury Wrexham game as a fan. Like I've been and sort of done some media stuff and things, and then I went as a kid, but I can't really remember it. But that's the first time I've been in an away end in a derby like that. And it's hatred, isn't it?
It's not very nice when you're 3-0 down and they go, we're going up, you're going down, we're going up, you're going down, and not like all that sort of stuff. And you sat there and you're like, you just think, it's 3-0 down, you just think we've got no chance.
I remember my first year for Shrewsbury playing against Telford, who were like obviously a few leagues down the way. And like, because again, I didn't have any real clue. It was like, we got Telford. And we were like, brilliant, just go and spank them. Like, what are they? Like local dog and duck club and all of that. And then you get there. First of all, you realise the hatred from the fans. And then you realise that the players are actually decent. We got run ragged for about 60 minutes. And like we ended up winning. But I was happy to get off the pitch. But it was all just because the Telford side was so pent up about, we've got to beat these. They're our rivals. And we'd gone in there completely complacent about, we just come here and have a little bit of a kickabout, and it didn't turn out like that.
It's that inferiority thing, though, isn't it? It's like when Dave and his Wales mates play against England, isn't it? Like they're determined to beat England, aren't they? Whereas like England are like, I didn't realize Wales had a team, and suddenly like Wales come flying out the blocks and takes you an hour to get going.
Yeah, Dave's sort of nodding as you're talking and saying that as well. So. Dave, come on.
Oh, it was good.
That's another derby I played in. Sorry as well. I forgot about that one.
What, England Wales?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that counts definitely, doesn't it?
Yeah, massive.
What was that? Like obviously the hatred from the Welsh fans as well towards England. is like really intense for many of the home nations towards, well, pretty much every team in the world towards England, but in particular the other nations.
We spoke about it at the start. We said about being a little bit envious of the Shrewsbury players getting to play on Saturday, and it's like that as a player. And at the derby games, when they come out, and like when England got drew against Wales in the Euros, it's like I just so excited, want to be involved. Like what an unbelievable opportunity, because the atmosphere is going to be unbelievable. But yeah, we got it wrong on the day. I remember Chris Coleman took full responsibility. I said this a few times on the podcast, but basically got us too up for it. Too much of wanting to fight, wanting to kind of do everything for our country rather than actually take that emotion out of the game, stick to your strategy and try and play football, which we'd done so well up until that point. And we didn't get any Gavel know this, being a manager, we didn't get any of our patterns going at all. We didn't get any of our passing football going. We were literally just clearing it, trying to smash them, trying to get up the pitch, all that sort of stuff. And then that cost us massively then, because we're probably in a position in the game where if we'd have stuck to our guns, then we'd have been able to win it. But yeah, Chris Coleman took full responsibility for it. And then the following game, I've said this, we played Russia. And he was like, first time we get it, pass straight away. I don't want anyone going long. We pass right through the middle of midfield, through their press, and then they'll back off us. And we did it straight away. And then we won 3-0, just like front foot. But that's where it can have an adverse effect, because you as a player, you are up for it, aren't you? You want to get to that first tackle. You want to get the crowd lifted, don't you? And things like that. But you've got to do it in a controlled manner. Whereas all the fans behind us were like, just smash him, kill someone, smash him, boot him. And you go, just smash him, boot him. Then he gets sent off after 10 minutes. And everybody, oh, what an idiot. He's been sent off. And the manager, you have to find 2 weeks' wages. And the manager drops you for the next 6 weeks. And you go, oh, yeah, brilliant that.
And it's easy to say now, isn't it? It's easy to say now. But in that moment, when you've got people egging you on and you're young and you're full of, adrenaline and your ego's going, it's hard not to I'm doing the same in a game towards the end of my career. No, sorry, at the beginning of my career, and getting injured. I suppose a little bit like it happened to Gaza, didn't it? In the cup final, he ends up tackling just go out there, all emotion, go and smash the life out of them, and then they end up getting injured, or you end up just not playing to your full potential. I think there's got to be a balance, though, hasn't there? Because you certainly got to use that motivation that look, we're playing against England. All of you playing England for the majority. It's like home nations and all that, but it's got to be a balance. But yeah, interesting.
What did they say? Fire in your belly, ice in your veins.
Veins, fire in your belly, ice in your veins.
Yeah. Right. Just going back to the Shrewsbury Wrexham as well. Me and Dave were chatting beforehand. Obviously, I made my debut for Wrexham against Chester, and I played for Shrewsbury against Wrexham, and I played for Wrexham against Shrewsbury. I don't know what you think, Dave, but is Chester Wrexham a bigger derby than Shrewsbury Wrexham?
I think for Wrexham,
it's a big quote for Shropshire Star.
I think Wrexham fans think it is, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
And they're literally right across the border to each other. I know Shrewsbury's close, but I think probably Shrewsbury's got more bigger in recent years because Wrexham have been on the climb back up, and Chester have been sort of, like you were saying, Gab, with other things you've been in, that they're a team which is a bit lower down the league, so you kind of hasn't quite got the importance. But Shrewsbury have been above Wrexham for what, 15 years now, have they, in the league? You know what I mean? And then I think it's made it bigger and bigger, as they showed on Saturday, because it was bouncing, wasn't it, Sam?
Yeah, it was great. It was brilliant. It was really good. I remember when last time, I think I've mentioned that before, when I played for Wrexham against Shrewsbury at Shrewsbury and we lost 3-0. That was horrendous. I was getting booed by all the Shrewsbury fans, as well, and the Wrexham fans. They're losing 3-0. And half the Shrewsbury fans who were booing me, I knew half of them in the crowd anyway, and all they still booing me.
But, your father-in-law,
yeah. I'm dinner with you after.
What about Newcastle Sunderland, Sam? That's obviously we're
not going on to the world's biggest derbies just yet, but no. I never got to play Newcastle. I played in the youth team games and stuff like that.
Did that have a little bit of extra spice?
Yeah. Oh, more. I would say the youth team games as much as the first team game, because you're young, aren't you? And it's different, isn't it? Different expectations. We used to get so wound up. I played for Newcastle against Sunderland in the youth team. When I was 15 or something, there was Alan Thompson, Steve Watson, all playing. They had Craig Russell, Martin Smith, and that was a brilliant game. And I played for Sunderland against Newcastle. Like, yeah, they were mega. Newcastle Sunderland used to get like 20,000 at the reserve games.
Hey.
And they played each other, like massive crowds. But I never played one of them games, but that brings us nicely on to the biggest derbies in the United Kingdom and then into the world. Like, that is massive. And that but I mean,
have you been to the games before?
Yeah, I've been to a couple. I'm trying to think. I went to the one. I can't remember what it's called. I have to have a look. I'm going to say I went to one, but I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the one when Sunderland beat Newcastle 2-1 when Hullett was the manager.
Yeah.
Well, that game, he left. Was it that one? Was it? I can't remember anyway. I can't remember. But I've been about 2 or 3, and he left out a local derby. And he left out Alan Shearer and Duncan Ferguson and played one man up front, Paul Robinson, young kid. So you got Big Al and you got Dunk on the bench. Imagine the Sunderland team getting that lineup and going, hold on, centre forward for Newcastle, Paul Robinson on the bench, Ferguson and Shearer. You could go, I'll have a bit of that then, won't you?
Mate, centre arse would have been. Oh.
I got Woodhull at the sack that though, didn't it? But like, rightly so. You don't leave them two out in the derby.
Regardless of what's gone on, you've just got to put in that game, especially.
Play them. Yeah. You play them because I think it does matter. You play them because in the dressing room of the other team before the game, you see that and you go, "Oof!" Like, hold on a minute, you're going to be a bit wary. Suddenly, your confidence is up. You're playing against a young 19-year-old kid, like you're all over them, and Sunderland won the game. That to me is the biggest derby in the. I can't say in the United Kingdom, can I? But that to me is the biggest derby in England.
Newcastle.
I honestly believe that. I'm not saying the United Kingdom because I think Rangers Celtic because of the religious aspect, because the Protestants v Catholics, and even though it's 4 times a year, which makes it a little bit. But can you tell me one in England that's bigger than Newcastle, Sunderland? I'll wait.
I think Liverpool, Man United's got to be up there with that.
Yeah.
I think that's
the only one.
You're talking about the two most successful teams.
It's not a local derby, that though, is it?
No.
I know what you mean. Like it's the biggest.
It's across the way. It's like Manchester and Liverpool have become synonymous with each other, haven't they? Like it's Liverpool, Everton just hasn't lived up to what it was probably in the 80s, 90s when Everton were right up there, weren't they? With like your Kevin Ratcliffes and your Sheedys and that. I just think that one there probably. I would say when you're talking about passion, when you're talking about like home loyalty and like, you know, if everyone was meeting on a battlefield, you're probably talking about Newcastle, Sunderland. When you're talking about what's going to capture people on Sky Sports and capture people's imagination around football, it's probably Liverpool, Manchester United, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's some really nasty ones though, isn't there? Like, in terms of real hatred, like I think Newcastle, Sunderland, I think Spurs and Arsenal, they like, I know it's North London, but they seem to absolutely despise each other, like proper. And then Cardiff, Swansea as well. That's a nasty one, like nasty down there.
Like that. Have you seen the bubble? Have you seen their bubble thing that they have? So now I was watching a program the other day. Literally, must have been yesterday or the day before, and it's when I think Swansea went to Cardiff. So now what happens is there was a family that were living in Cardiff but supported Swansea. But if they wanted to go to the game, they had to go to Swansea from Cardiff. They had to get the official coach. They then had to travel back to Cardiff. When they got there, there's like a tunnel, they call it the bubble system. So there's a tunnel. So when they get off the coach, they come off the doorway into this tunnel. It's all covered over, so they can't see the opposition fans and vice versa. They then make their way through, go into the ground. There's no alcohol, no food, everything that we were saying earlier. Then they come back out of the tunnel onto the coach and then they're home again. And they were saying, how do you feel and all of this? And most people were saying, oh, you know, it's been 10 years they've been doing this now and people have grown up and all this. And there's other people going, nah, it's got to stay because otherwise it'll end up being crazy. So they call it the bubble system. And for both teams now, they're not allowed to interact. They're not even allowed to look at each other whilst outside the ground.
But like, the mad thing is they probably all work together though, don't they, and stuff like in the Monday. But I suppose it's just the way it is. I think that's it. Like I've been, well, you will as well. I've played Cardiff and Swansea away. Like it's vile down there though, ridiculous. Like when I played against Cardiff and Swansea, like you're there and there's 20,000 fans and they're all wearing Stone Island or Aquascutum and all look like 30 with skinheads and that. I'm like,
and what about when we played? what about when we played Swansea at their last ever game at the Vetch?
Oh
yeah, that's what. Yeah, I remember. I played in the last. I told you that's my claim to fame, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
got
got
the last game and the first game.
It's got better since they've moved to the Liberty and to Cardiff City Stadium, but the Vetch and Ninian Park both the same.
I've been in both. Been in both playoff finals. I've played in the playoff semi-final at Cardiff.
Were you there on that day, Dave? The last game?
Yeah, mate, I was off the pitch before the final whistle, mate.
I could not believe what was going on. Like it. We've said it before, haven't we? I was stripped naked. I was stripped down to my pants. Got back to the changing room. And like they're just mental.
Pulling up the pitch. You're pulling up the pitch, weren't they? Getting chunks of grass, pull up the pitch, take it back home, put in the living room, pulling the pitch up and that. Like, lads, what's happening here, lads? Just leave the grass. What is happening there?
Give me your boots. Give me your shin pads. Take your shorts off. And I was like, oh, man, I'm not taking your shorts off. He's like, take your fucking shorts off. I was like, all right, have my shorts. Like, it was unbelievable. And like, what was mad was on that far side. I know we've told this story before, but it's a brilliant one to tell. They'd all climbed on the wall. So on that side, there must be about 5,000 supporters, all standing on the wall and then sort of spilling over to the side of the pitch. And the referee would give it, look, lads, I'm going to tip you the wink. I'm going to let you know. Do you remember that? I'm going to let you know. So brilliant.
I've had it there.
And then Wilco ran past me, stripped Trundle's shirt off his head, ran past me. I was like, nah. Like, he hasn't said yet. But he'd just gone, the referee had gone, bog you lot, because he'd seen all of these lads on the side of the wall and gone, bog you lot, I'm going. So he'd run. And then as he got close to the tunnel, then he blew the whistle. No one had seen it. Wilco had seen it. Gone to Trundle, give me a shirt, ripped it off him, flew down the tunnel. And then by the time we turned round, they were coming the other way. And they're mad.
That was mental though, because obviously, like Gav said, all the fans are trying to rip everyone's shirts off them, and we've got in, and you just see that Wilco's got Trundle's shirt tucked down his shorts, doesn't he? He's like, look what I've got, lads. Trundle's like the absolute flavour of the month there at that time, and he is like top dog, and he's got Trundle's shirt, his shorts.
Some supporter went, yes, I've got a shirt. Who have you got? I've got Cowan. Cowan? Oh, fuck's sake, Cowan. Who's that? Absolutely devastated. Did you get Trundle? No, I got Coleman. Is it Coleman? Cowan.
Cardiff's no different though, is it, Dave? There's no. I had to say, we lost to Cardiff in the semi-final. I remember their lads were going, get off the pitch, and even their lads were trying to get off the pitch. I was thinking, if you lot are trying to get off, I better get off. But is there which one's better? Not better. I don't know which is more hostile, Cardiff or Swansea, or is there a difference?
What stadium?
Yeah.
At the modern stadiums, I think they're probably pretty similar. But again, on the old stadiums, I think they're so similar the way they are. Like Ninian Park.
I remember us being on the coach day. Sorry to jump in. I remember us being on the coach, and they were smashing the coach, like whacking the coach and that. Like, we're going, come on, drive, we got to go. And they were like throwing stuff at the coach and going mental.
I think both just old school. I don't know, just from sounds silly, just from just those low concrete walls everywhere, and inside just like concrete floors, just cold,
horrendous.
But pitches like really close to the stands. Cardiff had that big, huge camber, didn't it, in the middle of the pitch, like you couldn't really see to the other side. But they're just on top of you, the fans there. It's a bit like a place like West Ham used to be and things like that. It's
because I don't think you ever feel like nervous now on the pitch. I mean, I remember being at Cardiff and Swansea. I would say it's probably the only time I never played at the Old Dell. It's probably the only ground where I thought, this is a bit naughty. I'm on this left wing on the far side here. I thought, this could escalate quickly and I could be in serious trouble. It's the only times where you feel a little bit uncertain on the pitch. I mean, you might have felt it, David, when you're playing around Europe and stuff, but they were probably the only two where I thought, this is a little bit.
Like I said, because they're the low walls. They used to have them at the Meadow, didn't they? Those low concrete walls, and you're so close to them, and they could just jump over. Do you know what I mean? And it's hostile, both of those.
There's just no kids though. They never had kids. I was like, do they not let women and kids come into the game? Like, do you have to be between 20 and 35 and look like you're desperate for scrap? Anyway, so Swansea, Cardiff, that's a good one. Obviously,
Leeds have got to come into this somewhere because they've got a real rivalry with Man United and Cardiff, haven't they? Where's that all stemmed from?
Yeah, Leeds Cardiff one is, they hate each other, don't they? Is it something? I don't know. I don't want to say something which is completely untrue. They had the same chairman, did they, for a little bit?
I don't know, but I know that's a big one. Yeah, 'cause I'm thinking of local derbies, but it's not. Yeah, not just local derbies.
I'm gonna Google that. You guys carry on talking. I'll come up with an answer.
Yeah, I think
what down your way, Gav? Then what is like QPR, Chelsea? What Colchester and that? Who's their rival?
Yeah, Colchester and Ipswich are like real fierce rivalry because like, it's a real strange one because like Colchester's very much Essex, but it's like a stone's throw from Ipswich, which is Suffolk. So it's like a real strange one because it is literally like going through a portal when you go from one to the other, but they're not actually that far away. But that's a real rivalry, and I know they've come to head a few times. I know Colchester have got a real sort of like back in the day, they had what was called like you know, like when you've got the West Ham, what were they? The ICF, weren't they, and all of that. So they were real. Colchester were like quite prominent. They were like the bar side. All of them, and I know that they were really like big on going over to Ipswich, and I know that was like a big rivalry. Colchester and Southend as well was always big. Obviously, you've got like West Ham. West Ham wanted rivalries with everyone, like West Ham and Millwall.
West Ham Millwall,
West Ham Millwall is probably the nastiest one that you could encounter, and I would. Pardon?
That's East London, isn't it? That's like an East London rivalry. So
yeah, so Millwall's like Southeast London, sort of South London, really, and then West Ham's East London, and then you've got Orient in there as well, Leyton Orient. When that like years ago when they were in the Championship, they're like Southeast London. So all of them three really are sort of a stone's throw. Like they're like, yeah, that's a nasty one. That like West Ham and Millwall, I wouldn't take my family to that game. But that's probably what I would say is the nastiest one. If those two were to play each other, regardless of leagues, that'd probably be the nastiest one I would avoid.
Are we all in agreement that in the UK though it's Rangers Celtic?
Liverpool and what?
Rangers Celtic, because the religious aspect and everything. Fans still aren't allowed in there, are they? They're away fans.
It's hundreds of years, isn't it? It's like I was saying there about Liverpool. Man United and Leeds. I think isn't there history there from the 60s? Isn't it like the Billy Bremner era? Wasn't there like a big thing then that stemmed? I don't want to say anything that's not true, but it'd be interesting to get some of our listeners to comment because I'm sure loads of them will have like their version of why they're hating each other and whatnot.
That's what they've been doing today. I put it on Facebook today. We've had loads of people.
Yeah, see that. I don't think anyone's put Leeds Man United, have they? Maybe I'm off the ball on that one, but I think
something there, isn't there? Definitely.
Yeah.
I think the Rangers.
We did go to Rangers Celtic one when Joe was up there for what, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years.
That is fuming. Joe can still gets tickets for that, can't he? Still, like he's a lovely player.
We need to go.
We'll go when they build it, when they reveal his statue and that. We'll go then. And
yeah,
I like that one. What about in the world then? Rangers Celtic is probably one of the biggest in the world, isn't it? But what else? Which other ones? Which one? If I said to you, what's the biggest derby in the world? You've got 5 seconds to answer. What would you say? Gav, go. 5.
AC Milan in Milan.
Share the ground.
Because as a kid, Serie A was literally the greatest league, wasn't it? And AC Milan and Inter Milan, whenever they played each other, it was like Christmas Day for me. Like, you've got like La Gazzetta.
On Channel 4, wasn't it? Go.
Yeah.
What was it? Go. What was it? Yeah. That was good, that, when Gazza was in there, wasn't it? Lazio Roma. That's a good one, isn't it? When Gazza's in
Roma, big. That's a similar, similar religious thing going on there, isn't it, with Lazio and Roma, I think, or a cultural thing, maybe. But that's an interesting one. Dave?
What was the Roman fan seen as being, I don't know, a bit of a class thing? What was the team was I thinking about that? Carry on, I had a thought. I can't remember what it was now anyway. Go on, Dave, you got 5 seconds, Dave. Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'd say El Clasico, but then it's just because of the size of the two football clubs. That's the one I think is probably most watched. There's got to be like bigger derbies in terms of hatred and the amount of people watching. When you're looking like South America, I don't know what the teams would be, but I'm sure there's some massive ones over there.
Sao Paulo and whoever, yeah.
River Plate, Boca Juniors in Argentina.
Boca Juniors,
I reckon that's got to be one of the biggest. That 80,000 fans, Boca Juniors.
They're just fanatical, aren't they? They're absolutely fanatical.
I've got one which a lad I played with has played in before, and I've played at one of the stadiums, which was incredible, is Red Star Belgrade versus Partizan Belgrade. He said...
Someone mentioned that, Dave, on the thing. It's obviously it's called the Eternal Derby, that.
Nenad Milias is like a bit of a hero for Red Star, I think. He was there before he come to Wolves, and he's like, I think he's a coach there now. Went back there. And he was saying that if they lost that game, they were not allowed to go home. They had to stay in a hotel for at least a week. Like security. He said they couldn't go home. Their families had to stay with them, everything. It was mental.
Shut up.
Yeah.
It's the Serbians, isn't it? Like obviously a little bit.
You would never get so nervous.
Very passionate about football.
Best thing ever if you won, obviously. But
if you win, you've got like the keys to the city.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you lost,
if you lose, you go and hide.
Yeah.
I'm slightly disappointed about how underwhelmed you were when I said about the Milan derby. Surely that's still regarded as like they're in a stadium, the San Siro.
Yeah, but I don't. I think like things like what what you said there, like Red Star and Partizan, like or ridiculous hatred, where you're thinking like this gets out of hand. Someone put in the group about there was like a car sponsoring them, or Ford was sponsoring them, and they set fire to all the cars and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think it's another level, isn't it? Some of those, maybe the Milan.
You have big derbies for different reasons, don't you? Like when you look at Barcelona, Madrid, there's obviously the history, but the caliber of player. Like I probably get a bit starry-eyed about the AC Milan, Inter Milan, because obviously when I was a kid, you got Hullet, Rijkaard, Van Basten. Then you had Weah coming through, Maldini and Costa Curta and Baresi and all of them. And I was always, were you Inter or AC?
AC.
Yeah. The kits as well, though. The red and black and the blue.
Oh, mate. This is what I mean. So they're brilliant. Yeah. They're brilliant derbies for different reasons. Like you say, River Plate and Boca Juniors. That's just full on. Like they're so passionate.
It's a cultural thing. That River Plate are all like seen as being like really posh and I don't know.
Is that right? Is it
middle class? And like Boca are seen as like more working class, so they'll like it's a bit more of a cultural thing that as well.
Are you River or Boca?
I don't know. I don't really know enough about that, to be honest. If it's if River Plate are seen as being quite posh, and I'm River Plate.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that goes well. That goes well. Yeah, AC Milan for me. AC Milan.
Yeah. Let me give you another good one. Fenerbahce, Galatasaray.
Oh yeah, again fanatical. Fanatical hatred.
Bit of a cultural one, that as well, isn't it? I think different parts of.
What about when Graham Souness, the absolute head case, ran into middle of the pitch and put the flag down?
The Galatasaray flag, didn't he? Oh, I think did he put the Galatasaray flag in the middle of the centre circle?
Right on the centre circle, right on the centre spot, yeah. And then just jogged off the pitch and nearly got killed.
I don't think he understood. Did he ever heard the story about Gaza doing the same thing when he was in there? He did something about like the flute, which goes back to some religious connotations, and he hasn't understood like the depth of feeling and the historic hatred in it. So you just do like a flippant action or a flippant remark, and everybody suddenly you're going like, no, this
hundreds of years of meaning.
This isn't getting a boo. This is like someone's going to slit your throat.
It's got hundreds of years of meaning, and he's just like la 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 la. You're like, oh.
Yeah. So let me give you another one. I've written this one down. Olympiacos v Panathinaikos in Greece. That's a big one.
Love that one.
Like I'm
Olympiacos. I am.
Some of these would be amazing to go to, though, wouldn't it? And I think we'd be shocked by like the hatred and the feeling and stuff. It's like when you see these things on like Instagram, don't you? And these mad fights in Serbia or something. You think, what is going on there? Like, what about the bloke who come down, the chairman who came down and punched the ref?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
well, that's Serbia. Can't remember where that was anymore.
Yeah,
Turkey,
but you think like Serbia and obviously the football hooliganism and when they play World Cups against England, stuff like that. Like the England fans seem to turn up and want a bit of a scrap, but then like it is organised for the Serbians, isn't it? It's almost like military, the way they try and go after the fans and stuff like that. So imagine that in your own country against two clubs.
In your own city, in Belgrade.
Their two grounds are like closer than Anfield and Goodison. They're closer than that. They're like ridiculous, like only a couple hundred yards away from each other, I think. Yes, imagine that in a football city like that. We
need to try and like, how amazing would it be to do a little in the stiffs on the road? Let's do that.
Not in Belgrade, mate.
Yeah. Let's leave that. Let's go Milan and that. Let's go Milan and Barcelona and stuff.
Yeah. It'll be interesting just to, like, obviously it won't take the kids. Like, it would be fascinating just to go, wouldn't it? Just
someone would say you're going to be safe. If somebody says you're going to be safe, 100%. That
would be the best one. Well, that one. So either that one or River Plate Boca Juniors, Argentina.
I'd be all over that one.
Super Classico.
Yeah, that'd be unbelievable.
Let's see if we can get a travel sponsor to sort us out, and we'll go.
Yeah. If there's anyone out there listening that wants
EasyJet, we're happy. I mean, Dave won't do EasyJet, will he? Obviously, Dave won't. But me and you would do EasyJet, Gav, wouldn't we? We'd meet Dave over there.
You can go up front, can't you? We'll wait at the back.
Yeah. We'll meet you. We'll meet at the airport. See you in the lounge. Seeing the rivals.
That would be unbelievable. Flipping. We've got to do this in the Stiffs on tour.
Yeah.
I think that's all the main ones, isn't it? I bet we've missed one there, haven't we? I'm trying to think what else. But I know people put on things like.
Have you Googled it, Sam? Biggest derbies? Or is that just off our list? We haven't come very prepared, have we? I'll have a look.
What?
Biggest...
I did look at biggest derbies, and I think it said either River Plate or Fenerbahce.
Yeah, right. I clicked on one. 442 magazine.
I think that's the one I looked at.
River Plate, Boca, Celtic versus Rangers, Madrid, Barca, Fenerbahce, Galatasaray.
Can I just quickly put that Celtic v Rangers? So that's talking about the top derbies in the world, right? And it's Celtic v Rangers. I mean, that is mental, isn't it? When you think of like.
Again, no. What are we talking about? We've got to talk about, like we've touched on there, haven't we? Like, why are they like? Obviously, you've got like
passion,
like, geographical. You've got passion. You've got culture. You've got like pure hatred. You've got caliber of players. So like Barcelona and Madrid, obviously, like they're two major cities in Spain. But again, if Madrid were just like a tin pot, like second division team, they wouldn't be rivals. But it's the caliber and history as well. History. So they're all derbies for different reasons. Like I would, Sam, put Newcastle Sunderland right up there when you're talking about.
There we go.
Well, I'll tell you,
Gavin Cowan's starting to talk some sense.
I'll tell you, it doesn't put Newcastle Sunderland right up there. Is the 4-4-2 one I'm reading at the moment. So we'll do UK ahead of Celtic, ahead of Newcastle.
This will be embarrassing. Bristol City
Rangers. Celtic Rangers number 2.
Fair enough. Yeah, we can accept that.
Man United, Liverpool are at number 6. This is in the World Cup.
Not even a local derby, but we'll let that slide.
Wow.
Then we've got at number 13 Arsenal Tottenham.
It's pathetic, embarrassing.
You wait to the next one, Sam. At number 23, Southampton Portsmouth.
Southampton Portsmouth. Come on, stop it now.
Not having
Southampton Portsmouth. I mean, I'm sure that, like, obviously there is a rivalry there. They're both on the south coast and all that. Come on.
It says there's a mutual antagonism between the two ports.
even that. There's not here a mutual antagonism. Like, obviously, I can imagine that's the rivalry, but let's not put that ahead of Newcastle Sunderland.
And then in 30th, just behind Genoa and Sampdoria, and Raja Casablanca versus another Casablanca is Newcastle and Sunderland. 30th biggest in the world. Just ahead of East Bengal and Mohun Bagan.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's perfect.
Yeah, but
30th in the world isn't too bad. What about Benfica Sporting? Is that Benfica Sporting Lisbon? Is that?
Yeah, that'd be. Yeah. They're the two biggest Portuguese, aren't they?
Porto.
Portuguese club that we haven't mentioned.
Porto.
Yeah, there you go. I just going back to what I was saying. I was saying there that, like, for me, when you're talking about like geographical, when you're talking about passion, when you're talking about, like, battlefield stuff, Newcastle Sunderland's a massive one. You would love to go and watch that game, wouldn't you? And then you've got.
This is your best performance ever on the podcast, guys.
You've got. It's hard for me to say, but you've got Liverpool, Man United. different reason, caliber of players, history. Like, which one would you rather go to, Dave? Liverpool, Man United at their absolute peak, both on form, or Newcastle, Sunderland? Like, for me, you've got to
weigh. For football, I would say obviously Man United, Liverpool. But I think if you told me now I could go to one game this season, I have them.
This is what I mean.
Newcastle, Sunderland.
And the neutral wants to go to that game because of the passion, because of the
But, I mean,
I was watching
in Newcastle, Sunderland, you've not got anything else, have you? Like, they haven't got a lot up there, have they? So they've got football. That's it. They don't. There's not a lot else going on. Is there between the ears?
A little bit and kind. So when you say up there, you just mean the whole of the north of England.
Just northeast, northeast specifically.
We're going there. We're going there. Or we're starting to do the north-south
just
thing.
For everyone, it's a joke, everyone. So before I get absolutely hammered on social media, it's a joke. Relax. It's fine.
I'm quite impressed. I'm quite impressed with Dave there, really. I'm impressed with Dave for not talking about Wolves West Brom. So I thought I thought you might have gone Wolves West Brom as like in competition with Newcastle. So there was, just to clarify, there's millions of good derbies like Bristol, Sheffield, and all that. It's all brilliant, that rivalry. But
yeah. Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday. I went to the FA Cup semi-final in '93. That one, I was there as a kid. 93. Can you tell me the goal scorers? Chris Waddle, scored in the 4th minute. Yeah, great free. Can you tell me? I will buy the beers all night when we next go out. If you can tell me,
you normally do anyway.
Yeah. If you can tell me in the next 30 seconds who the goal scorer for, and then we won't say anything, and we'll get people to.
What was the score in the game? Sorry,
it was 1-1 after it went to
Brian Dean. Brian Dean
for Sheffield Wednesday.
It's such a
not Brian Dean.
No,
I'm out. I don't know any.
Pesca Solido. No, it's for his time. No. Did he play that?
Sheffield United.
93.
Glyn Hodges. Is that one?
No. I'll give you a clue. Massive
give me a clue. I'll get this. Dave won't. He's too young.
Massive beard.
Sheffield United. I was going to say Brian Kilcline, but he would have been there.
There's going to be listeners like screaming.
Alan Cork.
Alan Cork, yeah. Sorry, that's 31 seconds, Sam. Unlucky. Good effort. Alan Cork, scored. What an atmosphere that was at Wembley, the old Wembley.
The other semi-final of that, we're getting a bit like, the other semi-final of that was another local derby. It's like seamless. That year, the two semi-finals, Dave, was Sheffield v Sheffield United and Tottenham v Arsenal. Gazza smashed a free kick in the top bin for Geordie, and Chris Waddle over Geordie scored a free kick in that game.
And that year, Arsenal beat Sheffield Wednesday in both the FA Cup and the League Cup finals.
But can we start going on in some kind of football quiz? Like, can we start making a few quid out with that?
Question of sports still going? Is question of sports still going?
Like, literally, like not even as one-off. Like, just to have us, just basically have us question of sports.
I'll be Bill Beaumont. You can be both of them.
I'll be David Coleman.
Brilliant.
No, I'll be Bill Beaumont. I look most like Bill Beaumont.
Right, we're going to host a live night where we'll do a question in the Stiffs question of sport.
How good would that be?
Yeah,
let's do that.
I'll be
if I can come, and if everybody comes on the night and calls me Bill, then I'm there.
Let's do that at Shrewsbury Town.
We're going to do one of the Sovereigns at Shrewsbury Town. Let's do we do the mystery guest where we just film parts of his body and stuff as well.
Yeah,
we couldn't do
this. I'll be the host.
Do Tolly with his nose, could we? That's too much for a giveaway. We couldn't do that.
Let's do that. I'll be the host, and you boys can be the captains. That'll be.
Can I have 2 guests and Sam has 2 guests?
Yeah.
Can we pick our guests?
Yeah,
that'll be amazing.
You can have Tolly and Luke Rogers, Sam. That's a guaranteed win for me.
That's not fair, is it? If it's a quiz, that's not fair, is it? Like you literally handicap me there, isn't it?
Who would I choose? Who would you? Here's one then. Who would you choose?
Who's your 2 most intelligent football friends? Good question.
Tretz would be a good one for you, would he?
No.
Sorry.
I need some time to come back on that. I'll tell you what, I'll put that on Facebook. Let's give me a bit of time to think on that, and we'll pick our question of sport teams, all 3 of us. And we need 2
guests. Question of sport live
2 most intelligent footballers. I tell you who's a super intelligent footballer I played with. Mike Cooper, goalkeeper.
Yeah, you mentioned it before.
Very, very intelligent man. After that, struggling.
I'd like to have on my team Jake Sedgmore.
You can't have me though, Gav. You can't have me, remember?
For Jake Sedgmore, mate. Jake Sedgmore. I'm not interested. You're on the other team. I want to put it out now. If we could just clip this, Sedge, I want you to be on my team, please, mate.
I think you have one player and one fan, and we somehow try and get some fans.
Yeah, but you'll get a fan who'll be unbelievable, won't you? Like a real. I need someone. Just a quick one. If Sedge sees that, I'm not bothered. Sedge, you wouldn't have got my reserve team. Right, yeah. Who would you pick, Dave? Think off the top of your head, someone super intelligent who you play with.
At Shrewsbury or anywhere.
Anywhere.
I would go for Tommy Rowe, who I was with at Wolves. He's just got the Man United academy job. You know, like where they have an overage player.
Oh wow.
Yes, he was at United as a kid. He's been at Doncaster for years. He's a very strong guy.
Unfortunately, you're not picking it because you're going to be the host. You're going to be David Coleman. So you, but can you send me Tommy's number?
Yeah.
Right. I'll be beefy. I'm going to be beefy.
I'm going to go with the NFL. Me and Dave are into the NFL, Gav. You're not into it, are you?
I've been taking, since you two spoke about it, I've been taking a little bit more of an interest, just more of a, these elite sportsmen. I like listening to them. I've listened to a couple of interviews, class acts, haven't they? Got a bit about them, haven't they?
I tell you what, on class acts, some of the fans, some of the fans are absolute, whoppers, aren't they? It's amazing. When they're defending, there's loads of the fans, they've got a D up. They have a big, massive D that's about this big, and then they have a little fence, like a proper little fence next to it. So,
picket fence.
Defense. I'm watching it. I'm like, what is there's just not there's not this sort of banter that you get, I think, in the same way.
Have you been to the game, Sam, in London?
Yeah, I've been to Twickenham.
Some of their chants are terrible as well, aren't they? When you think of our football songs and that.
When's the next one? Maybe in the Stiffs to go to the next one.
Yeah, I need tickets. It's quite expensive. If anybody's got any tickets for that, let us know and we'll do it. But it's amazing setup. But have you got tickets, Dave?
Yeah.
Of course he has got them through Sky, hasn't he?
No.
Have you got some free adult ones?
Look at Dave panicking there because I'm saying that you got them for free. He's like, no, I paid for them, and not trying to pretend he's still like the man on the street.
You don't pay for anything, Dave.
It's not trying to be humble, Dave.
Me and Sam are in a WhatsApp group, aren't we, Sam, with some other local Shropshire NFL fans and a few of some of the automated.
Sounds a bit geeky.
Yeah, but one of the lads.
It's right out of my mouth.
So, do you want to add you in, Gav?
No,
Gav's just been sick in his mouth. He didn't do that.
What I have been doing though, from what you were saying, I have been looking at I was watching a video on one of the lads doing his recovery. That was interesting.
That was basketball, mate. This is American football.
Mindset. No, the one with the
Michael
big
Jordan.
Stick. What's the big stick that they throw about? They run around in a rounder. They play rounders, don't they?
No, we're gonna watch that.
I was watching one of the lads doing rehab, and I was like they're just. Yeah, I don't know whether they do it for show a little bit. It's a little bit Hollywood for me. I don't know.
But anyway, moving forward, I'll organise Question of Sport. And if you boys can organise Buenos Aires for Boca versus River Plate.
Yeah, Sam, you can do that. And I'll sort out a sovereign suite at Shrewsbury.
Yeah, super classical. Are you going to give everybody an update on the Shrewsbury Town thing, Gav? Listeners, nothing. Okay. I was going to say about you taking over Shrewsbury Town. No, not mentioning that.
Not anytime soon.
I'll be in the shop start tomorrow. Roland out, Gav in.
Oh no, our sponsorship of the dugouts.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
So we're sponsoring the dugouts, aren't we, at Shrewsbury Town? So you're going to see in the Stiffs a little. If you're sat in that main stand watching the game, you'll see in the Stiffs on the dugouts and hopefully on the seats. So yeah, it's exciting.
Is that going to get me on the bench? Surely is that part of the sponsorship deal for me to get the last 5 minutes?
To be honest, it would have happened a lot sooner.
Not every week, just home games.
No. It would have happened a lot sooner, but they weren't going for it. So I tried. This would have probably happened last season, but that's what we've been haggling over, getting you on the bench.
And you
They're not
just
happy.
I'll leave me Puma Kings in the garage then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
but that's how good is that. So if you sit there now, every time there's a break in play, you can look down and see in the stiffs.
Class.
And we're going to try and go to quite a few. We're going to be going to quite a few games, aren't we? Me and Dave as well.
Yeah.
Whenever
So,
we go,
And jokes aside, when you think about obviously all of our journeys with the football club, quite proud of that. Quite proud to know that our podcast is going to be on the dugouts of Shrewsbury. It's like a nice thing, isn't it?
I've spent a lot of time in them dugouts. I'm quite proud.
Yeah. Not those specific ones, but in general, Shrewsbury Town dugout. Yeah.
And the sponsorship is paid for whoever they bring in next in the January transfer window. The first player is going to be down to us.
So basically, Gav, in the stiffs have bought whoever Shrewsbury's next signing is.
Well, we'd like to think so. Yeah.
That's it.
We've maybe paid for his training kit.
If he ends up, if we get someone in and he's brilliant, like I want people when me and Dave are in the Sovereign Suite to go up and say thank you.
Yeah. If he's terrible, it was nothing to do with us.
If he's terrible, blame Dave.
Yeah, but that'll be exciting. So that should be happening soon. Next home game, that should be visible.
Oh yeah, get in there. Right, everybody.
We've only moved so quickly for us as well. It's been amazing.
So we're going to try and not do it on StreamYard next time, aren't we? We're going to try and do it face to face, but we're coming towards the end of the season anyway, aren't we?
That's important just to let people know. Like what we don't want to do is there's a lot of people when we do miss a week, people look forward to it, don't they? Which is really nice for us to hear. But we get feedback of saying, look, what we don't want to do is miss it. So as opposed to miss it, this is like worst case scenario. So we're not going to do this regular, are we? We're just going to do it when it's absolutely necessary. When Dave can fit in.
It's difficult for Dave, isn't it? It's difficult for Dave to get his lie in, go out for lunch, and fit in 18 holes as well as do the podcast.
Yeah.
Proper rushed off his feet like any. So
see you Wednesday for that green tea, Dave.
Yeah.
And obviously, and we've always got it. It's difficult with time slots, isn't it? Because whenever we set a time, we know we've got to give 20 minutes for Gav to turn up. Because Gav's always late as well. So it's just difficult fitting things in, isn't it? With timings and stuff.
Too busy getting a sponsorship.
Moving forward to all our amazing listeners and viewers, we're looking at a few more episodes, but we want to finish this current series with a live event, don't we? So we're looking at potential venues. So anyone who's listening who's got a venue in and around Shrewsbury area who thinks they'd like to host us, then that would be amazing. Do some sort of live event, get some of our listeners there along. They've always been great, haven't they, when we've done it before? So it'd be a nice way to finish our current season. I'm starting to recognise them now when they make comments and stuff, isn't it? And they see the same people now all the time who listen. We've got like a proper little, loyal little group, haven't we? A hardcore lot of listeners. The amount of people at the game on Saturday who come up and about it, which is, it's humbling.
Brilliant.
Loads of people did.
So good.
Right.
So
well done, everybody. Have a good week, everybody.
Have a great week. Cheers, everyone.
Later.
See you later.